Good night, folks. How you doing? This is Carlton from Carlton's Travel Adventures. Hope you all doing good. Before I forget, don't forget to hit subscribe. Okay? I had a viewer that told me they wanted me to talk about real estate. How do I rent real estate here? A very good topic. Very good topic. Before I begin, I want to apologize for a little jumpy camera here. I'm using my phone still. Got a nice Nikon here, but I'm still waiting for my tripod from the US and get a nice microphone for the camera. Until then, might be a little jumpy with the cell phone. Apologize. Gonna get better once I get my tripod. Anyway, so I assume the person meant rental real estate. Excellent topic. Excellent topic. Um, because if you're coming from the U.S., you have the option of doing, and you're staying here long term, you can do your Airbnb, which is what some buddies do monthly, which can be a great deal. Um, because it's already furnished. When I came here, I'm staying here. I sold all my stuff in the U.S. I came here, so it would make sense for me to get an Airbnb because I wanted somebody to store my stuff, especially storage. So anyway, so that's who the person that added a request is referring to a rental, not purchasing. So, good topic. There is no MLS like you have in the U.S., so it's very, very tricky, to rent something. And also, almost all the properties you listed are listed by real estate companies, brokers. There is no MLS, there is no license. I can go out and start my own little business to sell property or rent property. And I've heard about some of these issues and I have to live them firsthand, which is very frustrating. All right. First, obviously, you have, as far as location, you have the top of the line, which is El Poblado, which is Strata 6. You can read about stratas. Strata 1 to 6, 6 being the best, the most expensive area, 1 being the poorest area, and the 6s subsidize the 1s, and so forth. A little different thing here, like socialism, I guess, but it does make some sense. If you're wealthier, you can afford, to pay more, even for the same service. It seems a little weird, but that's the way they decided to do things, so we're going to leave it at that and accept it. So there's no MLS. Okay, a couple of sites that have listed them for real estate, but they are very unreliable. I'm telling you right now, these sites are not reliable. All right, so you can go on the site, look at them, or go to a real estate company and talk to them, and they'll even if you go into the office and they'll pull up the system and show you what's available. I've had cases where I went there, and they'll show you, okay, these 4 apartments are available. I said, let's make an appointment so I can see them. And they call, oh, it's taken already. I said, damn. But the system updates every night. Sometimes they don't update them all the time, and blah, 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 blah. A normal occurrence. Got me real frustrated. I went there twice, to 2 different companies, real estate companies. And, I'll spend all this time going through the list, picking out all these properties, liked them. This is in my ballpark, my neighborhood. I wanted like as far as a strata 5 or 4 in the price range. I didn't want a 3-bedroom, which is normal here. I wanted a 1 or 2 bedroom by myself, And I pick all these properties out and find out they're not available. Really, really frustrating. Okay, so I got pissed off a little bit, and I started doing it myself. So it helps to have a friend that knows Spanish. All right. It's going to help a lot. So what I did, I went around neighborhoods, places I saw, places I like right here in Medellin or Laureles. Drive around, look at the buildings for the for rent sign. Take down all the numbers, all right? And then I called myself. All right, obviously it's there, it's available. The sign is out there. If the sign wasn't there, it wouldn't be available. So it makes more sense than going to the realtor's office, looking at on a system. So I had a friend help me out by calling and seeing, if my focus was to see if these places are being rented by a realtor or by the individuals. I prefer to rent from an individual. You can negotiate with them better. If you're going to a realtor, they're going to charge you more because they get a better commission the more they charge. And you'll find out that another frustrating thing is since there's no really law or license needed for these brokers, you might see one property here and it's listed for 1,500,000 per se, pesos, COP. And then another realtor might have it for 1,700,000. Another one might have it for 1,800,000. The same property. I'm not kidding. The same property. You know, that's frustrating because it's kind of a you don't need a you don't need a there's no MLS. You don't need a license to be a broker. I can become a broker tomorrow. All right. So what I did, I went around. I saw spots I like. Then I called to see if any of these are rented by the owners themselves. That's the focus. You know. So you might need some help. So someone that speaks Spanish, which I had. So once I found a few that's rented by the owner, some owners would actually tell you, I don't rent to Americans, or I don't rent to someone with a cellular, you know, and eliminate those. Luckily, I found this one. The owner said, no problem. I'll come look at it. I looked at it. This was on the market for a month, they said, and I spoke to the guy and said, look. But another thing, when I came to the building with a friend of mine, she's Hispanic. I didn't speak. We spoke to the guard and says, how much is the unit for? He said, 1,400,000. I said, okay, great. When I came back, obviously, the gringo, and I spoke to the owner, said 1,500,000. I said, wait a minute. The doorman told my other partner, this lady speaks Spanish, it's 1,400,000. He said, I'm not sure where you get that from, it's 1,500,000. It's always been 1,500,000. So I'm not sure who's telling the truth, but I know I've had some problems where I go to buy like a mattress. I'll tell you another story about that later. And when I had this lady go inside and order the mattress, it was one price. When I came back for the same mattress, with another price, gringo price. Call it the gringo price. All right. So back to my apartment. I spoke to the owner and said, look, don't have a cellular, don't have a Visa, you know. I was a banker. You can trust me. Show my business card to him. I want to rent this spot for 6 months with an option for another 6 months. I'm living here. I've got cash. What I'll do for you, I'll pay you 3 months in advance. Okay? And you need a cellular ID card to also hook up the cable and to apply for all the water and electricity and so forth, gas, So I couldn't do that. So I told him, look, keep it in your name. And what I'll do is I'll give you $300 deposit, for that, keep the services in your name. Obviously, if I don't pay you in a month, take it out of my deposit. So I made my own deal. And he said, it sounds good. So I gave him, basically, $1,500 right away. And he took it, $300, so $1,800 total, $300 deposit on the utilities, kept it in his name, and we got it done. And, one day, gave me a lease. I sent it to friends I have in Bogota and one here that's in business. Review the lease. Most of it's, standard stuff anyway. So I signed it, no big deal. And here I am, okay? So I would say that's the best way to do it. Try to talk to the owners directly, instead of going to the realtors. It's going to take some extra work. You're going to need some help from somebody that can speak Spanish if you don't speak Spanish very well, So that's why I got my spot. I can tell you a lot more about buying stuff. Buying can be real tricky and, dangerous a little bit. It can get ripped off, but it's another story, another tape, okay? So, like I said, in magazine also you might find around the streets, free magazine that tell you more about places for sale, for rent, but said they're unreliable. You can get ripped off if you're not careful. I took the 1,500,000, so it's no big deal. I like the spot anyway. I said, okay, 1,500,000, I'll take it, but whatever. So be careful about that. Try to get an idea of what you're willing to spend and what the neighborhood costs. I know it's a tough, expensive neighborhood, so I knew I would pay a little more. But keep in mind, you don't have to go into Laureles or El Poblado. I was on a date yesterday, and the person told me, look, you can go other places that are really nice and pay almost a lot cheaper. I had a buddy who rents an apartment in a place called Bejo, right? Brand new apartment, it's a little out of town though, you know. And he has a 3 bedroom, 2 bath. He's paying like 325, I think. And I heard yesterday the other person told me, look, her sister's boyfriend, rented an apartment. There's another neighborhood. Forgot the name. And he's paying 325 also for 3 bedroom, 2 bath. So it's not dangerous. Nice neighborhood. It's not dangerous. It's really nice. And you can go around. A lot of nice neighborhoods around. Really is. You don't have to go to El Poblado or Laureles. I like my location because I can walk 3 blocks in direction. I'm on a major street. I have grocery stores and everything else, And on Friday night or whatever, I can walk to a bar or whatever for a drink. Any 3 directions. It's really tranquilo, really quiet here where I am. But 3 blocks, 4 blocks in any direction, I'm into, the major streets. I like where I am. And you don't hear anything. It's really quiet. So a lot of neighborhoods, like Medellin, which is next door to here, you can probably pay a lot less than this. So I'm paying, 1,500,000, like 515 or so, for a 1 bedroom. You can actually pay about 325 for a 3 bedroom, 2 bath. I don't need that because I'm by myself, you know. But I mean, if you have a family or you really like a 2 bedroom because friends visit, you can get it. It's out there. You can get it. Believe me, So that's my tip about trying to rent something. Just be careful. Just know what the neighborhood might cost you. It's good to have friends here, tell you a little about the neighborhood, or do some reading, some of the other websites about the neighborhood. But just don't overspend. You don't have to, right? You can really spend $300, $325. If you're willing to live a little further out, like in Bejo, or some other neighborhoods that's not as nice as this, or El Poblado, and have a nice place, 3 bedroom, 2 baths, in a safe neighborhood. All right. That's my advice a little bit about that. If you're going to buy something, don't do it till I do my tape on buying, or do more research on buying. It can be very tricky. A lot of laws around that. You do things the wrong way, you end up getting taxed like crazy. Okay, so we'll leave that for another time. And this is just my hint about how to buy rent real estate. I rented my place in 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks of being here, and I'm happy with it. Maybe I might have spent a little bit too much. I don't know, for 1 bedroom, but I knew what I wanted to spend, and I'm okay with what I have. So you're just gonna not think about it too much. Well, maybe I paid $100, 100,000 pesos too much, or whatever. Nah, it's still a great price compared to where I live. In Miami, I paid $2,000 a month for a 1 bedroom about this size, downtown Miami, overlooking the bay. Different, but still. Be very careful, and hope this helps a little bit about how to rent. All right? Don't forget to subscribe. I really appreciate it. Thanks.